but there is no compulsion. His compulsion. He said, I have to do something about it. So he told the king that the walls of his country, the walls are broken down, and he wants to go back and fix it. He was moved to ask the king for the resources to go back and for letters so that he would have free passage to go back. And he went back. So we should not only say we are committed, but we should have this sense of compulsion that moves us, drives us to do things. And so he went back to his country. The king gave him permission to return to build the walls. And before he consulted his people, before he consulted them, what he did was his own examination of the nature of the problem. He went by night to look at the severity of the problem. My brothers and sisters, as we seek to help our school, this school, we cannot just look back and say, in those days, there was glory days, because we went to school in a different context, in a different society. When I went to Cornwall College, we didn't eat lunch at school. We were allowed to go downtown. And we were so respected that I remember that restaurant at bus stop. We call it Gully Bus Stop. And the Cornwall College boys like myself, when the place was full, we were allowed to take our lunch, go over, to take out what we want. And then they would say, what did you take? And you paid for what you took. That's how they trusted us. But by the 80s, that approach was no longer in vogue. It was no longer in vogue in the 80s. They ceased and desist. So we have to look at our cultural context. We have to look at our environment. We have to look at the mores of our time. We have to look at the socio-economic changes in our country, and in our attempt to bring solution to our problems, we have to be conscious of where we are and what we are doing. But still, we should have a compulsion to serve. One of the stories in the Bible I like about compulsion to serve is a man who had a friend, and the friend was lame, and the friends just took their friend to see Jesus, and the people crowded the house. And because of the way the people crowded the house, well, one man was concerned about his friend, the other one was committed to the help. But we see compulsion when one man went up on the roof and he broke up everything. And in those days, not roof like ours, made of clay. So he went up there, kick up dust. Even dust fell down on Jesus. And the Bible says, when Jesus saw their faith, after they had kicked up dust in his face, they just said that somebody had a compulsion over that side. So he went back. Because there was compulsion. And then I want the fourth one I have down there in the passage from the story of Nehemiah is challenges. His challenges. You are not going to do anything good. I'm not going to do anything good. We are not going to achieve our best. There are always going to be challenges. For when he returned, there were some men who were critical of him. What are you here to do? And that those men were called Sanballat and Tobiah. You see, they had a vested interest in something else. They were concerned not about the people themselves, but they were concerned about what they could get. And so they were doing everything to prevent the wall from being built. They used threats, intimidation, and criticism. I would suggest, even to the young and to all of us, when people are very critical of us and you have a goal in mind, you have a cause. To notice the moment Nehemiah heard, he felt that it was a cause for him to be concerned about. Those of you and those of us who feel that our school is a cause for us to be concerned about, and we are committed to serve, and we have this compulsion, we need to recognize that there are always going to be challenges. People to challenge our thoughts, our ideas, and what we are doing. But if we believe that what we are doing is beyond us, it is not just for self-aggrandizement, self-importance, but it is to change for the better, not only for ourselves, but for this generation and the generation to come. We are going to work hard in spite and despite the criticisms, the intimidation, because we believe that it is a good thing. And so Nehemiah stood his ground. We need to know when to stand our ground and fight for what we believe in. He saw the state of his people, and he wanted things to get better. And he faced the challenges, even though there were threats on his life, intimidation, but that did not prevent him. You see, united effort means that we have to, whatever we are going to do, we have to motivate our people. We have to influence them. We have to allow them to see how important it is. There's a law that they have which is called the law of buy-in. If people do not buy into what you are going to do, they are not going to do it. And like I said, the commonality for all of us is that this is our school. And what can we do to make it better? How can we, I don't want to use that word, that the leader of the United States Senate used. What can we plow through? But we have to work together. And I notice that, and finally, notice the challenges, but finally is completion of the work. Is completion. He said, we built the wall until there were no gaps. We built the wall until it was completed. Until it was. So whatever we have set ourselves to do, we should do it until it is completed. In spite and despite all the challenges, they built until it was completed. and the wall was completed. When the wall is completed, when whatever we are doing at Cornwall College is completed and the people see it, because they will see it, no matter what criticism they have of the school, they will see it. And after they have seen it, they can continue to speak, but it will be a monument for them to see. The great thing about Cornwall College is that, as I've always said, one of my friends, he went to Glenmuir, and tell you the truth, I really lamented over it. I still lament over it sometimes. That's the only thing I don't think we have ever won. School challenge, quiz. Everything else we have done. But I don't think, I taught at Monroe for about 3 years before I came to Cornwall, and they won quiz about 2 times while I was there. They were dedicated to the task, but we have not won quiz. But we have done everything else. We just want to strengthen that and build upon that. It's not that we are not great, we just want to become greater. So they built the wall until it's completed. And after it was completed, they celebrated for 7 days. So now, I don't know what we are doing, but during the course of the week, after we have completed it, we can celebrate for 7 days. God bless you.